Hey everyone, it's Kel from Kel's Kitchen, and I'm going to show you how to make spaghetti bolognese. So first gotta get a pot with some water, put salt in there. Salty as the sea is the saying. Now turn your pot on to medium high and put that lid on there. We're gonna prep our vegetables now. I have two medium white or yellow onions. I think I'm using white here, but I'm not very good at telling what onions are which. Cut them in half. That makes it a lot safer for you. And the biggest goal when cooking is to not cut off any digits. You want all 10 fingers. So when I peel it here, I'm going to keep the tail end on, and I use that as a handle when I'm cutting. See? Chop, chop, chop. We're going this way first. And then we're going to go the other way. You want it to be a pretty fine dice because we're eating it with noodles, with long spaghetti noodles. And you want it to be easy to eat with this. So what we're preparing here is called a sofrito. It's pretty much a standard base: onions, carrots, and celery. All right, back over at the stove. A couple tablespoons of olive oil. And this is a cold pan. You're going to add in your onions. And, well, you don't have to add in your onions right now. I'm doing it because my cutting board is small. Carrots, we're going to chop those up. First, we're going to peel them. This is my favorite peeler. It's a Y peeler. And I believe that the motion of pulling is a lot more natural than pushing. So peel your carrots. You don't technically have to, but I believe that there are impurities in the skin even if you wash them, especially if they aren't organic. So, and I can't afford organic produce right now, so I'm just going to peel them all. These peelings are lovely. And peel, peel, peel. These are going to go to my chickens. Top and tail the carrots. And then I like to cut it into more manageable pieces. These I can cut into 2 pieces. And then we're going to cut it into slabs and then matchsticks. Yeah. Go right ahead, Kel. Put your finger on that blade. Even though that's not how you're supposed to do it. Matchstick it. It'll make it easier. I'm gonna speed this up because, yeah. I'm gonna cut up crosswise now into tiny little pieces that are about the same, roughly the same size as the onions. These are actually a lot smaller than my onions because I was having a hard time cutting my onions. But definitely don't sweat it. It's supposed to be a quick weeknight meal. All right, these go in. And now that I have carrots and onions in there, I'm going to go ahead and turn on my stove to medium high. All right, rosemary. This rosemary is from one of my neighbors. Strip the rosemary. Smell it. It smells so good. The rosemary will help the savory flavors because we're not really developing this as much as it traditionally would be developed. Usually you would take about, 2 hours to let this simmer down and get really nice and thick, but we're making this in about 35 minutes. So adding rosemary will help it along. And it also just tastes good. Chop it up into little pieces. All right, and while I'm doing this, my water has been on the heat the whole time. It's boiling. There it goes, boiling. Now this is a really small pot, so I had to break my noodles into. This is a new stove that doesn't work with most of my pots, so I'm sorry, Italy. Garlic. I usually get the kind that I usually get a whole bulb of garlic, but my parents did the shopping this time, and so I have pre-peeled garlic, which I don't condone, but it's what I have. Use what you have. That's what cooking is about. Adjust the camera here. All right, we're gonna go ahead and stir our vegetables. Oh, it's steamy. Steamy. Go ahead and stir your vegetables. Make sure they're cooking evenly. Now, sweating is a combination of steaming from the top and frying from the bottom. I don't know the science behind it, but I'm sure someone does. And if they tell me, I will let you know next time. We're going to dice this celery. I'm not a huge fan of celery on a daily basis, but in spaghetti bolognese, it's one of my favorite flavors. Chop, chop, chop. And now we're throwing everyone in. Rosemary, garlic, and of course, the celery. There they are. All right, and now we're going to go ahead and stir that all together and pop that lid back on there. And now I am going to collect some of the water from the pasta. I like to call it liquid gold. It's what you need for every pasta sauce. And the pasta's done. I only cooked it for about 9 minutes and the directions said 11, but I want to finish cooking it in the sauce. If you're going to serve the spaghetti under the sauce, then just cook it the full amount. But I really, really recommend doing it this way. I've got some chicken broth here and the pasta water that I set aside earlier. I'm going to add enough so that the total amount of liquid is about a cup. It's a little bit more because I'm bad at pouring, but about a cup or a little more is the right amount. So go ahead and measure that out. And now we're going to go back over to the stove. Here we are. Stir, stir, stir. Make sure everything looks good. And what you're looking for is everything, the carrots and the celery, to be translucent. Beef is going in. This is 1 pound of beef. Usually I would... Usually I'd add in the beef before things, but for this, I don't really care about it being browned because it's going to be in a liquidy sauce anyways. So go ahead and break up the beef. Break it up, stir it around. You want it to be able to cling to the noodles really well, and spaghetti is not a very strong noodle, so break it up, leave it for a little bit so it can cook. Break it up some more. I want it to be little granules, kind of like Taco Bell beef, but better. And time to open our cans. I've got a can of tomato paste and this fancy can opener that my mom bought a couple months ago. Twist, twist, twist. Twist. It's a tiny little can. All right, I'm gonna pop this guy open. And you want about 2 tablespoons. I'm going with 3 because I really like tomatoes. And the last time I made spaghetti bolognese, my younger sister complained that it wasn't saucy enough. So just break up the beef one more time. And in goes my tomato paste. Stir, stir, stir. Now it's kind of like little granules of rice. All right, tomato paste going in now. Here we go. Yeah, ow. I burned myself, splattered.
Get this guy in there before we go ahead
stir it all up.
Add in the
and then we're going to, yeah, just make sure it's all the way combined in there. Otherwise you're gonna have clumps and that's not as good. Salt in there. And some pepper. If you know where that's from, I love you. And now I'm gonna go ahead and add in two 14.5-ounce cans of diced tomatoes. You could use whatever you have on hand. I know I've used crushed tomatoes in the past. I'm sure I've used tomato sauce as well. But I like this. Pasta water and chicken broth going in. And that's just going to help it. The noodles need a little bit more liquid because I didn't cook them all the way. Oh, we got some double cream or heavy whipping cream. And you can leave this out or use water or use milk if you'd rather use either of those or more of the chicken broth. But I like this because it adds some body to the sauce that I believe you would normally get if you made it the traditional way and cooked it way, way down. Stir it all the way in there. We're almost done. I missed the part where I put the noodles in, but that's okay. The noodles went in after the liquid. All right, I got this nice bowl. This bowl used to be my grandma's. Get your tongs. This is how you plate it up, make it look fancy. Yeah, get your tongs and put it in the bowl and twist. Make it look like a little spiral. Normally I'd put some parm on top, but I did that at the table. All right, this has been Kel's Kitchen, and we made spaghetti bolognese. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time where I'm gonna be making some steak fajitas. Bye.